Have you ever noticed that the loudest person in the room is often the easiest to read, the easiest to manipulate, and the first to be forgotten? We live in an era of digital exhibitionism where we feel a desperate need to explain our every move. Yet we wonder why we feel so drained and disrespected. You're handing out the blueprints to your soul for free, and then you act surprised when people use them to build walls around you. The more they know about you, the more they can control you. Stop feeding the world your secrets. The art of being mysterious isn't about wearing a mask or playing games. It is the ultimate expression of Stoic self-mastery. In a world that cannot stop talking, your silence becomes your greatest weapon. It creates a vacuum that others feel compelled to fill, giving you the upper hand, without you ever having to raise your voice. By the end of this, you will understand why your transparency is your tragedy, and why your silence is your strength. Lesson 1. The strategic fortress of the mind. Epictetus once taught that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Most people do the exact opposite. They treat their thoughts like an open faucet, leaking their ambitions, their fears, and their next moves to anyone who will listen. In the modern world, this manifests as the urge to post everyone on social media or complain about your boss to a coworker. When you broadcast your intentions, you invite the world's resistance. You give small-minded people the opportunity to plant seeds of doubt before you've even begun. By staying silent, you protect the flame of your ambition from the cold wind of public opinion. A true Stoic operates in the shadows, letting the results speak, while the process remains a mystery. If they don't know what you're building, they don't know where to strike. He who tells his secrets to another makes himself that person's slave. Lesson 2. The power of the unspoken word. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that we have the power to hold no opinion on a matter. You do not need to react to every provocation. You do not need to defend yourself against every petty criticism. The modern obsession with clearing the air or speaking your truth is often just a sophisticated way of losing your cool. When you over-explain, you appear weak. You appear as though you are seeking validation from someone who likely doesn't deserve your energy. When you are insulted or questioned, try saying nothing. Look them in the eye and let the silence hang. People are terrified of silence because it forces them to confront themselves. In that stillness, you remain an unmovable object. You become a mirror, reflecting their own insecurity back at them. By revealing less, you retain your dignity and keep your power intact. Silence is not an absence of thought. It is the ultimate discipline of the mind. Silence is a lesson learned through the many sufferings of life. Lesson 3. Value through scarcity. Seneca wrote extensively on the idea that we should not be common. Whatever is overexposed becomes cheap. This applies to your time, your emotions, and your information. If you're always available, always talking, and always explaining your why, you become predictable, and the predictable are easily discarded. In your workplace or your relationships, being an open book makes you a solved puzzle. There is no reason to seek you out because everything is already on the table. True mystery creates a natural authority. When you speak less, your words carry the weight of gold rather than the abundance of sand. You don't need to be the center of attention to be the most powerful person in the room. In fact, the person who observes from the periphery, gathering data while remaining a ghost, is the one who truly leads. Stop being an easy read. Force the world to wonder what you're thinking, and they will naturally begin to respect your boundaries. The best way to avenge yourself is to not be like that. The discipline of the ghost. Becoming mysterious is not about deceit. It is about the Stoic virtue of temperance. It is the realization that your internal world is a private sanctuary, not a public park. Every time you hold back a secret, every time you choose not to vent your frustrations, and every time you let a question go unanswered, you are building a wall of mental invincibility. People will try to bait you. They will try to pull you into the noise because your stillness makes them uncomfortable. Let them wonder. Let them speculate. While they are busy talking about what they think you're doing, you are already miles ahead, working in the dark. Silence is the garment of the wise and the shield of the strong. If you want to be respected, if you want to be powerful, and if you want to be free, you must learn to withdraw. Nothing is so fatiguing as the eternal hanging on of an uncompleted task. The world doesn't need to know your heart. It doesn't need to know your past, and it certainly doesn't need to know your future. Your power lies in the gap between what you know and what they think they know. Master that gap, and you master your life. Keep them guessing. Keep them outside the gates. And never forget that, have you ever noticed that the loudest person in the room is often the easiest to read, the easiest to manipulate, and the first to be forgotten?